My name is Sarah Best, and I'm a nutritionist, but the work I do is a little bit different than what you might be used to from a nutritionist. I don't really talk about what to eat and what not to eat. I don't really create meal plans or post recipes. My focus is really on helping you change the habits and patterns around what you're eating, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? The old habits and stuff that we fall into, the nighttime snacking, the eating when we're stressed, eating when we're bored, um, eating just because we're out social situations, right? Like doing really well all week, but then you go to a restaurant on Friday night and everything goes out the window. You blow it all, right? Self-sabotage. These kinds of old frustrating habits and patterns. And so I want to talk a little bit today about what's really driving those old habits and patterns. And I think that one of the best ways to explain that is just to tell you a little bit about my story, because my guess is that my story is very much your story. So I used to be nighttime snacking was really my thing. And it's why I talk to so many people these days about nighttime snacking, because it's something I understand so well, right? For me, I used to eat pretty well during the day. I would, have might have like a smoothie for breakfast and a salad for lunch. And I might even, you know, get together the energy to put together a healthy, balanced dinner. But then, once my kids were in bed, once my husband was doing his thing, once all the to-do things had been checked off my list, that was like my time. And I would grab my treats, right? For me, it was always salty and sweet. So chocolate and chips. I would hit the couch and I would just zone out in front of my Real Housewives or whatever reality show I was watching. I'm not proud of it, but that was my life. And I did this every night, and I wasn't hungry at night for the most part, right? Usually we just finished dinner recently, but it was this habit that didn't matter how much I knew about what I should be eating or what the nighttime snacking was doing to my waistline, to my health. I just felt like I couldn't stop. There was something about when I got to nighttime, all my willpower went out the window. All my best intentions went out the window. And I would find myself right back on that couch eating all of this junk food, sometimes until I felt nauseous, just being so mad at myself and so frustrated. And every night I would go off to bed and be mad at myself and be frustrated and, promise myself that tomorrow was going to be different. I see a lot of you saying this is exactly me. Awesome. Oh, good. Helen says, I love your book. Yeah, thank you. And so I know that you I know that you resonate with this. It's something I hear from clients and students all the time, from readers of my book. Nighttime snacking is one of the things we struggle with the most. And so, for me, it was that. It was also other bad habits, right? I ate when I was stressed. I ate when I was bored. I ate when I was happy. I was using food very much as a way to sort of manage my feelings, whether they be good or bad. I was struggling with cravings, tons of, for me, it was sugar. So a lot of sugar cravings. And so I just started to realize that, maybe I became sort of obsessed with changing these habits and patterns, right? I was gaining weight. I was, my doctor was concerned that I was getting close to being pre-diabetic. There was, something needed to be done. And so I just became, obsessed with learning everything I could about what I should be eating. I figured that I just needed to know more. Maybe if I just had more, a clear understanding of exactly what I should be eating, then this would all change. Or if I could just really get organized and plan my meals, and if I just had access to like a really great arsenal of quick and healthy, meals that I could make and snacks that I could have, then again, all of these habits would change. And so I, bought every book, and I joined Weight Watchers. I joined every program. I joined every gym. I did everything that my clients and students now tell me that they do. So again, boy, do I get it. I even went so far as to go to school and become a nutritionist, right? I wasn't kidding. So I felt like if I became I'd always been interested in health and wellness, ironically. So I decided that if I became a nutritionist, not only would it be interesting, but then certainly I would know what I should be eating. I would have all the information about the best diets. I would know exactly how to put together the perfect healthy meals, balanced, weight loss, low sugar, all the things, right? So I went to school. I became a nutritionist. I have the letters after my name. And despite all of that learning and literally becoming a nutritionist, nothing changed. I did know a whole lot about what I should be eating. I did know exactly how to put together a perfectly balanced meal. I knew exactly how to create healthy snack alternatives, but I was still on the couch every night eating chocolate and chips and watching reality TV until I felt nauseous and hated myself. And not only was that probably the lowest point for me, because I really felt like I was out of ideas, right? Like I tried everything. I had become a nutritionist, for goodness sakes. What more could I do? So it was the worst point for me because I felt so hopeless. But in a way, it was also the perfect jumping off point, because that's really when a light bulb went off for me. And I thought, this isn't about the food, right? Clearly, I'd spent, again, years. I'd bought every book. I'd joined Weight Watchers. I'd joined all the programs. I'd become a nutritionist. I had exhausted every avenue when it came to what to eat and how to feed myself and fuel my body. And it hadn't worked. So that's when I really realized there's something else going on here, right? This isn't about the food. If I'm a nutritionist and I'm still sitting here stuffing my face with chocolate covered almonds and potato chips, there's something else going on here. So that's really when I took a right turn, and I realized there was something going on up here in my brain, right? There was some kind of wiring or some kind of programming that was pulling me back to these old habits again and again, no matter how much I wanted to break free of them. So again, you can tell a theme here of like, when I want to change something, I really become obsessed with learning everything about it. So then I became obsessed with learning about how the brain works in terms of nutrition and eating and cravings and our relationship with food, right? What is the role that your brain is playing in all of that? The thoughts and the feelings and the habits. And that's really when everything clicked for me. For me, that was the missing piece of the puzzle. And now it's what I do in my practice. It's why I'm obsessed with sharing this information with other people, because what I know from living through exactly what you're going through, that, I'm not one of those people that has just always loved green smoothies. And I just, I forget to eat, or, I go to a birthday party and I don't even notice the cake. I just want, fruit. Like that wasn't me. I'm not that person. I know there are those people. I have some of those people that are my friends. That's not me. That was never me. So I understand where you're coming from. And what I learned is that this really was the missing piece of the puzzle. It wasn't about the sugar or the carbs or even the, emotional eating or any of those things, or the fact that my husband would bring home chips and pizza or, any of those things. Those were all just symptoms of what was going on up here, right? Of deeper, what I call it now the operating system. There's like an operating system in your brain, and my operating system is wired in a very specific way around food. And we don't need to go into all the reasons why that is, although that's part of what I teach in my programs. But we know that today, as you're watching me here, your operating system, and I know that this is resonating with you. I can feel that you get this. You have an operating system, just like I did, that is wired in a very specific way around food. It's wired to make you crave food when you're stressed, when you're bored, when you're sad, when you're lonely, when you're overwhelmed, when you're tired. It's wired to have you, doing really well all day and then binging at night. Or it's wired for that when you go to social situations like restaurants or parties or travel, the food feels like it has so much power over you, right? This is a very specific way that your brain is wired. Other people have different wiring and they have different issues, right, that you might be immune to. But for you and I, this is the operating system that we have right now. And that's why it's so important that we put our focus not on the carbs and the sugar and the, meal plans. That's actually the easy stuff. What we need to do first is put our focus on that operating system, on reprogramming and rewiring that old operating system so that we do start to feel drawn to the healthy choices, right? So that we're not in this constant like tug of war, this fight with our brain about like, should I, shouldn't I, or I want it, but I shouldn't have it. Or, you know how it, again, you and I speak the same language, right? You know how it feels to be at that restaurant or be at that party or be at that vacation buffet, and you almost can't focus on what other people are saying or enjoying yourself, because you're just having this, there's like this angel and devil fighting right in your brain about like, oh, did you look at the cake, or I want another serving of lasagna, or, you know, but I shouldn't. Oh, but I really want it, but I shouldn't. But I was really good today. Maybe if I just have a little bit, maybe if I have a little bit and then I don't eat very much tomorrow, right? Like this constant, other people are talking and enjoying their evening or their day, and we're having this whole conversation in our mind. That's the old operating system, right? And until we address that, until we do the work to reprogram and rewire, disrupt that operating system so that we can sort of update it to a new operating system, we're going to be constantly in this tug of war, and we're never going to win, right? We know how that goes. How's that been going so far? Have you been winning? No. And I wasn't winning for years and years, right? I would do really well for a little while, and then the operating system would pull me back. Do really well, operating system pull me back. And so it wasn't until I figured out that, and I realized after much learning and learning from different teachers and investing in a lot of training, that I learned that there are actually ways to update the operating system. It's actually possible. And so now that's what I do inside my Change Your Brain, Change Your Body program. We talk all about how to update that operating system. It's why my book is called Turning Off the Tap, right? Overcoming the Real Reasons We Overeat, because I always use this analogy of an overflowing bathtub, right? Imagine you went into your bathroom and your bathtub was just overflowing. I don't know, you had a house guest or something and they just left it running, and you walk in, water cascading all over your floor, all over the bathroom floor, and the tap is still on full blast, more water coming out. And your guest or whoever did this is on the floor on their hands and knees trying to sop up all the water with towels. They've pulled out every towel that you own in your house and they're trying to clean it up. And you're like, what's going on? You know, what's happening? And they're like, we got to clean up the water, so much water. And you say, why don't we turn off the tap? And they're like, oh, we didn't think about that. We're trying to clean up the water, right? We need more towels. Do you have more towels, bigger towels? Does maybe the towels your sister-in-law uses, the towels that Dr. Oz uses, like they're so focused on the towels. We need more towels because there's water all over the floor. When the truth is, the only real solution to this overflowing bathtub problem is to turn off the tap, right? Sure, then get some towels and clean up. But what's the point of getting more towels, different towels, if you're not going to turn off the tap? It's going to be a never-ending cycle. And this is what we're doing with our relationship with food, right? We're focused on, I need new healthy snack ideas. I need this new bar. I need these new shakes. I need intermittent fasting or keto or, paleo or vegan. And it's not that there's anything wrong with any of those. They're all potentially useful tools. Just like towels are useful tools if your bathtub's overflowing. But if your bathtub's overflowing, the thing you first need to focus on is turning off the tap, right? Then fine, get your tools and mop up the water. But if you just leave that, if you don't address that tap and you just keep trying to look for new towels, better towels, bigger towels, the towels Kim Kardashian uses, like whatever, you can see what's going to happen, right? There's just no towels. There's not enough in the world. And it's the same exact thing with our relationship with food. There aren't enough healthy snack ideas in the world to help you if you're not going to first turn off the tap. And what is the tap when we're talking about our relationship with food? It's the operating system. So that's why it's what I'm so passionate about. It's why people joke that I'm the nutritionist who never talks about food, because I really don't. To me, there's so many towels out there. There's so much information about food that's the easy part. The hard part is doing this work, updating the operating system so it doesn't keep dragging you back to your old ways, your old patterns, your old habits, right? No matter how hard you try. Until we do that, we're never going to see the consistent success that we want. All right. So I hope that gives you a little food for thought, no pun intended. But think about that. Start to notice when your old operating system is at work. Okay. Let me know in the comments below if this resonates with you. Give me a little mind blown emoji or something. If you're like, wow, yes, I think this sounds like it might be the missing piece of the puzzle. I've been so focused on the food and I know that's not working. maybe I do need to start to shift my attention, my focus to the operating system. And over on my website, on the free tools section, we have a bunch of free tools that take a look at. I put the link in the description here, so go check it out. Again, they're all free. It's in the name. Start to check them out. And I also have a ton of blog posts there and other videos and stuff. Like, start to, if this resonates with you, start to check it out and see if this feels like it might be the missing piece of the puzzle for you, because I can tell you it certainly was for me, and it certainly has been for the hundreds of people that have done my program and read my book. So I'm hope that this is a little bit of like an awakening for you, maybe just like it was for me. So let me know in the comments below if that resonates with you, and I'll talk to you soon.